Hey everyone, welcome to the Hickson Diaries. It's day 2 of our 12 Faves of Britain countdown to Christmas. And today we're exploring my 11 favorite British bands and singers. I stumbled upon Michael Kiwanuka when I moved to England. I had never heard of him before. I remember when I first heard him though, thinking, wow, this guy's voice is incredible. It's really, really calming and soothing. It's got that kind of folk rock mixed with like slow jazz and blues and a little bit of um like 70s funk, a little bit Stevie Wonderish. I don't know if I should put that label on him and I might get copyrighted for saying it, but I don't care. He I really, really enjoy his music. His lyrics are really incredible, and every time I listen to a new song, I pick up something different from it. So I think he's an amazing artist and really, really enjoy his work, and I'm so glad that I found him. The Streets was actually the first British band that my partner introduced me to. It is really, really fun, and for those of you who don't know, it's kind of a combination of like pop, hip hop, R&B together. I had never heard any British people rap before I heard the Streets. But it's a really, really fun band, and I enjoy all of their albums, and it kind of reminds me of the like American, and well, it's there's British mix in there as well, but the kind of classic rock era of the late 70s where they all of the albums kind of told their own story. The Streets do that, and it's really, really fun and interesting, and yeah, they're just one of my favorite British they're one of my favorite bands to listen to by far. I could not do a list of favorite British bands without including these girls. Come on. The Spice Girls are iconic. They have such an influence on pop culture. Their songs are just a lot of fun, and they make me smile. And I don't know, they always put me in a really, really fun, good mood. My sister and I used to listen to them all the time. We loved watching Spice World on like a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. We had nothing else to do, or we were just, or it was in the background when we were doing something else together. It was just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy them. And even to this day, the minute I hear "Spice Up Your Life," start I start smiling and kind of want to dance. I'm not gonna lie. Tim Curry is somebody that I've listened to since I was in school. Basically, I I absolutely love his voice. It's very just inviting and warm, and he can do so much with it. I had only really known him as like a musical singer for a long time. And when I was in my early 20s, I was in a vintage record shop looking through some albums, and I randomly saw this album by Tim Curry called Fearless, and it was only a couple dollars, and I was like, oh, I gotta check this out. I didn't even realize he had ever cut an album outside of like the musical stuff that he did. So I took it home, I played it, and I was in love from the first minute I heard it. His voice is just incredible. I love listening to him. I will listen and watch anything that he does. Definitely a British icon, and could not make this list without him. The Kinks are one of those bands where I don't always think about them when someone says, "Hey, what do you want to listen to?" It's not the first band that comes to mind. However, every single time I hear them, or every time that a song comes on the radio by them or on the playlist, I am immediately reminded at how good they really are. I just really enjoy their songs. They're all very eclectic and interesting and different, and I feel like it's another one of those artists where every time I listen to them, I learn something new about the songs, or I hear something a little bit different. And so the Kinks are one of my favorites of Britain by far. If you saw my last video of the most iconic places in the UK, according to my point of view, I had the Cavern on there, and I talked about how um, The Beatles, found an appreciation of the Beatles as I studied them in college. As a music lover, I can't deny how innovative they were, and how much they've influenced music moving, and how they moved the needle so much in such a short amount of time being together. So I definitely couldn't not include them on the list. Plus, one of my all-time favorite songs is I Want to Hold Your Hand, and then one of my second all-time favorite songs is Revolution. That pretty much explains why I have them on this list. David Bowie is an icon in my eyes. He has morphed in so many different ways. He has stood the test of time and all of the different trends that have come up in music. He has always stayed pretty relevant, and I just absolutely love his voice. I think he's so talented, and I really was another person that I'll just listen to almost anything that he does. And one of my favorite Christmas songs, ironically, is him doing a duet with Bing Crosby, and I have to listen to it every single season. It's one of my like top 3 songs for Christmas that I have to hear before I'll even think about Christmas season. When I was in high school, I listened to a lot of blues and jazz and old school R&B, like big band music and things like that. And I was very much not in the acceptable music realm at that time. There weren't that many people that listened to it, and it definitely wasn't mainstream. But when Amy Winehouse came on the scene, not only was I blown away by her talent and the massive, amazing voice that she has, but I was just completely felt vindicated, to be honest with you, because I was like, yes, there's good stuff in that genre. There's lots of stuff to take from it, and it can be adapted to the modern pop era. So I was really excited when she came on the scene, and I enjoy, even when she covers a song, I think she does it really well. Everything is her own personality. Everything is her own style. She makes every single song her own. And I really admire that from an artist perspective, but I also just really enjoy listening to her sing. So, for those of you who might not know me that well, or maybe don't realize or haven't seen some of my footage before, I'm kind of a rock chick at heart as well. And I definitely find that the late 60s and 70s, in my opinion, was one of the best eras of music. And The Who, in my very humble opinion, is one of the iconic bands from that era. The Who has so much to say. They do it in a very palatable way. They infuse visual and backup instruments in a way that is very unique and different. And I really just I can just rock out to them for hours, to be honest with you. Anytime I hear a Who song, it puts me in a great mood, and it gets me kind of motivated. My mom was a fan and played it a lot in when I was a kid growing up, but then when I was in high school, I went and saw them live, and I it clicked. And I loved the concert, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get more involved in the Who, and I've been a lover ever since. This is another band that I didn't really appreciate until I saw them live. My sister and my parents were huge Pink Floyd fans, and I honestly didn't really get it. I thought the songs were interesting, but I was just kind of like, I don't know. But my sister was very into it, and I remember that my parents had gotten tickets to a concert that they were doing in our area, and I was young enough where they couldn't really leave me home alone. So I went anyway, and they sold it to me as, oh, visually, as from an artist perspective, you're gonna really enjoy this, right? Because they do a lot of, it's a show. It's a big show, and they're known for that. So I was like, okay, let's go see what it's all about. It was incredible. Not just the music, but the visuals were incredible. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it like 1,000 times more than I could ever express to you guys. And I was definitely hooked from then on. So Pink Floyd could not have a better place in my heart. And the fact that it was one of my sister's favorite bands, and it was one of the only bands we actually agreed on, was really good as a whole. that will also keep it in my heart forever. Number one on my list, my favorite British singer slash bands, Queen. Freddie Mercury had to make the list. He has such a unique voice. His sound combined with all the other musicians of Queen are just they all mesh. It's the perfect storm. It sounds every song sounds amazing, and every song in my eyes is epic. Even the non-epic songs to me kind of go into that category simply because they're Queen songs. Maybe I don't know. Just to illustrate it for you guys, my favorite Queen song is Crazy Little Thing Called Love. It's not really their biggest hit, and it's actually kind of standard and formulaic, but it's just the way they put their own personal twist on it. It's just so much fun. And I love the fact that they can do this dramatic, epic, um, storytelling song like Bohemian Rhapsody, which has all of these elements into it and is so creative and so just artistic, and then still be able to do a just traditional fun rock and roll song and do it really, really well and keep me interested from one end of the spectrum to the other. That to me exemplifies how amazing and iconic Queen really is, and I don't know that I'm ever gonna not think that, and I don't want to ever not think that. And every time someone tells me that they don't really like Queen, or they don't think Freddie Mercury's really that has that great a voice, I will, be it at me, defend them. And I will stand up and I will tell them they're wrong. By all means. It is one of those topics that I will not let go. But I just can't help it. They're my favorite British band of all time. There's nothing more I can say to it. There you have it, guys. My 11 favorite British singers and bands. Let me know your favorite in the comments below. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for day 3 of our series. Hope to see you then. Have a good day. Bye.